I never do introduce the song by its name. I'll just say, see if you like this one. Let them figure it out. I'm Bill McCoury, and this is my Bluegrass Story. My dad, he had this radio, but he'd take the car battery out, put it in the radio on Saturday evening to listen to the Grand Ole Opry. We'd take it back and put it in the car on Sunday morning and roll it off down the hill and start it and go to church. That's how we listened to the Grand Ole Opry on a 6-volt radio. Now my dad, he didn't play anything. He just liked music. But my mother, now she could play a piano and the guitar. She could play harmonica. And she taught my brother, she taught him to play all those instruments. She gave it to him and he gave music to me, you know. And when he was home, he'd rather not be playing by himself. And he thought, well, if I teach Brother Delano, say he called me Delano at home, that was my real name. If I teach him some chords, he can play with me, you know, and I'll sing, and we'll both play guitars and all that, you know. He started buying records, but he bought this record of Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms. That was on the one side. The flip side was I'll Just Pretend. Earl Scruggs played backup behind Lester Flatt, and I played that over and over and over, and I thought, well, I'm not going to play the guitar no more. I want to try to play one of those things. I wore that hole real big, you know. Them holes are just about that big, but I wore it real big. He'd go whom, whum, whum as it went around. Well, I met Jack Cook. He was an ex-bluegrass boy. He had played with Bill Monroe about 3 or 4 years in the late 50s. I went in to see him one time and I told him I played banjo. And he said, you got it with you? And I said, yeah. So I took it in, tuned it up and played with him, you know, and sang with him. And he really liked what I'd done. And that's how I got started playing with him. You know, I was just so interested in learning to play music, you know, and I really didn't care if I got paid. It was just fun, you know. I never really thought about that I would ever be real big, you know. I just didn't. I just thought, well, I love to play and I love to learn. And that's all it takes, I guess, to advance yourself, you know.
Just heard that city of New Orleans go rumbling past this old shack of mine. Yeah, the windows carry on and the timbers creak and groan. That old girl is well on down the line. Some people say it don't get cold in Memphis, but I've seen that old river freeze up tight. Yeah, she used to melt me down till she caught that southern bound. Crossed that bridge and left me cold as ice. That old train hauled away all the good times, but the pain is here to stay. That old train is to blame for the bad times I'm living today. Well, if I could, I'd buy myself a ticket, check out every whistle stop that came along, cover every mile of track, and I'd bring my baby back, put a happy ending to this song. to stay. That old train is to blame for the bad times I'm living today. Well, if I could, I'd buy myself a ticket, check out every whistle stop that came along, cover every mile of track, and I'd bring my baby back, put a happy ending to this song. Roll on! That old train.
Horses, bourbon, and the great outdoors. That's Kentucky. Original, majestic, and wide open. In one day, visit legendary distilleries, explore horse country, or put on your hiking shoes and get out there. This is Kentucky. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Tominski. My favorite magazine is Bluegrass Unlimited. It can be yours too.
Get your subscription to Bluegrass Unlimited, the monthly print publication of bluegrass music since 1966. Bluegrass Unlimited includes feature articles on bluegrass history and tradition, current artists and bands, and so much more. Subscribe today online at bluegrassunlimited.com. And if you subscribe today using code MyBluegrassStory, you'll save 15% of the regular subscription rate.
The Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, located in beautiful Owensboro, Kentucky, is your destination for bluegrass music. With interactive exhibits, you'll learn about the early innovators of the music, like Bill Monroe and Flatt & Scruggs. But you'll also discover the artists of today who are following in their footsteps. But that's just the beginning. Experience the music behind the exhibits by playing music in our pick-and parlor and by enjoying a live show in our beautiful theater. Appearing soon at the Hall of Fame, We Banjo 3 on March 18th, Rhonda Vincent on March 25th, Darren and Brooke Aldridge on April 23rd, Daly and Vincent on May 6th, and Dan Tominski on May 14th. Use the promo code on your screen to save on concert tickets at bluegrasshall.org. And when visiting the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, be sure to check out the exhibit highlighting the artists featured on the television show My Bluegrass Story. Plan your trip to Owensboro, Kentucky today and discover your bluegrass story. Learn more at bluegrasshall.org.
I was playing with Jack Cook in Baltimore. I saw this guy come in, and he had a big white hat on. It's kind of dark in there, you know. And I thought, that guy looks like Bill Monroe, but he wouldn't be in this place. I know. And after that set was over, Jack, he just kind of walked over and said, Bill, come on in. And he took him in the kitchen where we tuned up in that little old bar there. I heard them talking, you know, and it's talking about going to New York, and then I figured it out. And Jack said, Chief, have you got a banjo player with you? And he said, no, I don't. He said, let's just take Dale. He'd play all that stuff. And so I did. I went with him. Kenny Baker was sitting here, and Bill over here, and I'm sitting in the middle on that hump between them. And that's usually where they put the new guy. So Bill, he speaks over top of me and says, Kenny, what do you think of this banjo picker? Kenny said, I'll tell you, Chief, he's got a wicked right hand. That's all I said. He paid me, and he said, now I'll tell you what, you got a job if you want it, you know. I said, I like playing with Jack, you know, and he said, when I look, he took out a little piece of paper and he wrote his phone number down. He said, if you take a notion, you call me right here, and you come down there to Nashville. He said, you get a room at the Clarkston Hotel up on 7th Avenue, and call me, and I'll come in and get you. You know, there's guys that kill to get that job to play with Bill Monroe, you know. Well, I called Bill up and I asked him where he's playing. I said, I'm thinking about taking that job. And that's how I got the job then with him. On some of my tours, or Bill Monroe's tours, we played in California. The Golden State Boys had a TV show, and I got acquainted with them, and they found out I was a banjo picker before I went with Bill, you know. So I played with those guys, and they offered me a job. And so I told Billy about that, you know, later on. And Billy said, hey, let's go to California. That's where we need to be, man. California, yeah, let's go out there. No, I said, I want to stay with Bill, you know. I told him, I said, Billy, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call their manager out, and I'll tell him that the only way I'll come out there is if I can bring a fiddle player with me, you know. So I called them up, and they said, give us an hour. We'll call you back in an hour. They called back in an hour and said, yeah, bring him and come on. Well, then I had to quit Bill Monroe. Then I told Billy, I said, before I go out there, I'm going to get married because I'm afraid I'm going to lose her. I went home, got married to Jean within a week. I was married and in California, you know. My wife, she got homesick within a week or two. And she'd call her dad at home. And they'd both be crying on the phone. Oh my goodness, and you know how that makes you feel. So I just couldn't take that, you know, and I thought, I've got to take her back home. So we only stayed out there maybe 6 months. In the end, we came back home, and then we just raised a family there, you know. Never did move no more. You know, I thought about, I should be in Nashville, you know, where there's a lot of music. I thought about that a lot. But, you know, I was happy, though, too, at the same time.
I had a dream of you the other night, dear. A dream I could not live into life, I fear. You talked with a friend of mine so lovingly. Oh God, a crazy dream, please let it be. Dreams, dreams of you, dear. Tears, tears are so sincere. Love, love that I can't hide. These dreams are breaking down all my pride. While music played, he danced and held you oh so tight, the same way we did when our love was young and bright. Then he kissed you under lights that were so dim. I couldn't stand to see you there alone with him. Dreams, dreams of you, dear. Tears, tears are so sincere. Love, love that I can't hide. These dreams are breaking down all my pride. I realize a dream is only fantasy, but tell me why these dreams seem so real to me. Every night I have this same old misery. I guess it's just because of all my jealousy. Dreams, dreams of you, dear. Tears, tears are so sincere. Love, love that I can't hide. These dreams are breaking down all my pride.
Somehow that song hit me, and I wrote it in the car. I had a 56 Oldsmobile, and I wrote that song in a car. Either going to work or coming back. It's usually coming back because I didn't have to be in a hurry coming back home. It's about what if that would happen, you know. It's one of those things. It's not a true-to-life song. It's not.
In the heart of bluegrass country, on the banks of the Ohio River, there's a place where healthcare is different, where it's woven into the very fabric of our local communities, where doctors practice more than medicine. They practice living. Here, everyone cares for the patient and treats them like a neighbor, because they are one. This place is called Owensboro Health, where a healthier community is what we do.
There's a city where a river of music flows, where you're invited to discover its deep roots in bluegrass music, and heritage and harmonies converge. It's a community that's just like the music it's home to, welcoming and authentic. This is Owensboro, Kentucky. This is the bluegrass music capital of the world.
On June 22nd to 25th, 2022, Romp Festival takes place in Owensboro, Kentucky. Produced by the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, Romp features 4 days of music, camping, jamming, and much more. Immerse yourself in bluegrass music by experiencing live performances from over 25 artists. Plan your trip to Romp Festival in Owensboro, Kentucky on June 22nd to 25th, 2022. More information about Romp can be found at rompfest.com.
My banjo picker was a instrument repair guy. I said, take that home and when you get a little spare time, fix that mandolin. I said, I ain't no hurry for it, nobody uses it. We were going to play Lincoln Center, and Monroe, he took a liking to Ronnie. And he put his big cowboy hat on him, he put his mandolin in his lap, and he said, now here, you play this, stuff like that. Well, Ronnie said, Dad, where's that mandolin that you had in that bus? And I said, well, I gave it to Dick. He's going to fix it to where it'll sound pretty good, And I said, I told him he didn't need to be in no hurry. Well, every time he'd see Dick, he'd get on him about that mandolin. He wanted that mandolin fixed. He played that, and I took him out on the road with me that summer. I said, now, you just stand up there with us and go. He's picking that stuff up just like that, And, of course, I showed him some of my songs, And before I know it, here, this guy's a better mandolin player than I could hire. Didn't even have to pay this one. No, I did start paying him. I never told him to practice, but if I'd hear him there in the evenings, trying to play something and they'd just miss a note here, maybe I wouldn't even take the instrument. I'd just put my finger on a fret and I'd play that note right there. And I just kind of guide them, I'm sure the boys probably never would have came in the band, in a band with me if I'd been on the road, say with Bill Monroe, because I'd been gone all the time. Most of the dates that we played, I'd be back home, like when they were there in the evenings, So I was around them every week. I wouldn't trade that for being on the road all the time and gone.
Between us, I thought our love would strengthen as it has so many times before. But something has happened, I can see it in your writing. I can tell the world is crumbling and the blues are at my door. The last letter that she wrote was on a blue piece of paper. That old feeling's back, the cards are rubbing in. The beginning of the end is near. Seems I have no friend. I feel blues moving in. It's not the words you wrote that made me sad and broken hearted and put me in a sad shape I'm in. Between the lines of mixed emotion and there are teardrops on the paper, and you said it's all alright today. I'll close for an old friend. The last letter that she wrote was on a blue piece of paper. That old feeling's back, the clouds are moving in. The beginning of the end. Seems I have no friend. I feel blues moving state of mind is desperate, and the hole that I'm sinking in gets deeper while I'm digging to get out. Oh, please give the right answer to the question I'm asking. Tell me you still love me, that would turn my world about. My last letter that you wrote was on a blue piece of paper. That old feeling's back, the cards are moving in. The beginning of the end is near. I feel love is fading into darkness. It seems I have no friend. I feel blues moving in.
The Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, located in beautiful Owensboro, Kentucky, is your destination for bluegrass music. With interactive exhibits, you'll learn about the early innovators of the music, like Bill Monroe and Flatt & Scruggs, but you'll also discover the artists of today who are following in their footsteps. But that's just the beginning. Experience the music behind the exhibits by playing music in our pick-and parlor and by enjoying a live show in our beautiful theater. Appearing soon at the Hall of Fame, We Banjo 3 on March 18th, Rhonda Vincent on March 25th, Darren and Brooke Aldridge on April 23rd, Daly and Vincent on May 6th, and Dan Tominski on May 14th. Use the promo code on your screen to save on concert tickets at bluegrasshall.org. And when visiting the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum, be sure to check out the exhibit highlighting the artists featured on the television show My Bluegrass Story. Plan your trip to Owensboro, Kentucky today and discover your bluegrass story. Learn more at bluegrasshall.org.
American Patriot Getaways has cabin rentals in Gatlinburg for any group size or budget. From a romantic studio for two to a 13-bedroom chalet, we can help you make memories any time of year. Break away from the everyday and take in the fresh mountain air from our cabin rentals in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Enjoy luxurious amenities like a steamy hot tub, exciting game room, breathtaking views, or even a private indoor pool. Find your favorite cabin rentals in Gatlinburg today.
This is what they gave me when I joined the Grand Ole Opry. We played the IBMA. I'd received some kind of an award, you know. I was talking at the microphone, you know. These two guys walked up beside me, and I glanced over, and it was Sonny Osborne and Ricky Skaggs. Sonny spoke up, and he said, where was you at 40 years ago tonight? I said, man, I don't know. I had no idea, you know. He said, well, I'll tell you where you were. You were singing lead and playing guitar with Bill Monroe on the Grand Ole Opry. And I said, oh, I guess maybe I was. And he said, well, how would you like to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry? You know, the two of them asked me that, and that's how I found out about it. That was almost as big a shock as being with Bill on the Opry, you know, as a sideman. It means a lot to me, and I hope it does to anybody else that have aspirations of advancing in music, you know.
Neighbor from the city bought 40 acres up the road. He made his money in the market. Now he's wearing cowboy clothes. He ain't got no cows or chickens, but the hat and boots look cool when he parties on the weekend. 40 acres and a fool.
What keeps me going, I think, to all these shows and doing all these things, you know, I never get tired of music. I just don't. It just never left me. That desire never did leave, you know. I don't know if it ever will. If it does, I don't know what I'll do. I'm gonna have to go and start playing baseball or something. Sign up with the California Dodgers or something like that.
But now he's trying to wreck my life. He drives down in his new Hummer so my kids don't walk to school. Took out my mailbox, squashed a possum,